Hello, welcome back to part 2 of part 1 of this lesson. My phone ran out of storage, so I'm not sure exactly how far I got. I think I was trying to make a funny joke about in summary and then I ran out of storage. Okay, so to pick up where we left off, the steps to finding min-max using the first derivative test is to first of all find the first derivative. That makes sense. And then once you have the first derivative, you make the sign diagram from the first derivative, kind of similar to what we did with rectilinear motion, right? So find your first derivative, use that to create a sign diagram. Then from your sign diagram, you can determine the min and max using the rules that we did ahead of time, right? And just to make a note that the endpoints should be included if they are defined or included. So let's do one simple example for part 1 of today's lesson. So the initial function 4x cubed minus 3x fourth. So step number 1, well, I don't know if you can see it that way. So step number 1 is to get the first derivative, which should be really easy for us right now. 12x squared minus 12x cubed. Then we make our sign diagram. So using the first derivative, I will set that equal to 0. We should see that we have a common factor of 12x squared. So that's what we use to get our critical numbers to create our sign diagram. So from this, we know that our critical numbers, we have 2 of them. They are 0 and they are 1. So then we create our sign diagram. 0, 1. We make a sign diagram from this part once it's factored. So we take a large number like 1,000,000 and run it through. We made all our x's 1,000,000. Again, we don't really care what the value is. Is it positive or negative? So if we make our largest key point 1,000,000, we run it through, that actually gives us negative, right? 1 minus 1,000,000 would be negative. Then we go from right to left. The first number we hit is 1. So we go to our factored form. This is where we got that critical number from. And then we test this exponent. Is this exponent odd or even? It's odd, so you change the sign. Then you keep going to the left. The next number we hit is 0. The 0 came from here. But the exponent here is even, so according to our rules, even exponents stay the same, odd change. So that is our sign diagram. Now the only new piece we're going to do is interpret our information from that. So the goal is to find, do we have a min or max? So this doesn't change signs, so we said that doesn't give us any information. Oh, but here it would be, so it's increasing, then it decreases. So if it increases and decreases, we know that we must have a max right here because it increases and then decreases. The first derivative tells us where the function is increasing and decreasing. So maybe just analyze a few things because when we get into curve sketching, sometimes they ask us to talk about where it's increasing. So where is this graph increasing from? It would be increasing from that's supposed to be round, minus infinity all the way up into 1. That's where it's increasing. And it would be decreasing from 1 to infinity. So that's how you figure out where it is increasing and decreasing from. Okay, then the other information is, does it have a min or a max? Well, based on what we talked about in the earlier slides, increases, decreases, so this must be a max. So we know that we have a max when x is equal to 1, but we need the corresponding y value. And again, you go back to the original function to figure out what that corresponding y value is. The rest, this is all what we did last week in our lessons, right? With using, getting min-max values and critical numbers. So if you've run through this correctly, this should give you a value of 1. So what we've determined is for this function, we don't have to actually graph the function. By using the first derivative in the sign diagram, we can tell that it's increasing and decreasing in these intervals and that it would have a max at when x equals 1 and y equals 1. Like I said, we're just learning a little bit at a time each day, and then next week we're going to put it all together in one huge question where we go from beginning to end, learn out the little pieces, and actually graph these. Okay, good luck with that. Oh, not yet, because I'm going to come back with part 2 of this lesson with more information, and then you'll be ready for your assignment.